Veterans Administration and do all that Congressman Bost has just addressed, as well as we have experienced some of the beauty of the veteran caregiving services. ACL works, as you have heard, in partnership with the VA on the Veteran-Directed Care Program. What a tremendous collaboration that has been. The Secretary has extended the act that provides legacy participants access to caregiving services for yet another 3 years. These kinds of acts are tremendous supports to the $63 million that the Senator just addressed. And so I won't take another second away from us hearing from Secretary Collins. Thank you, sir, for being here. Thank you.
Appreciate that. How's everybody this morning? Oh, come on. It's nice that you're in here. It's nice. So how's everybody this morning? Go Dogs. I tried. It's good to be here, and good, Mike, Michelle, it's good to be with y'all. Mary, thank you for that. And to be here with Bobby. Bobby, it's, our partnership has been great, and I'm looking forward to it even more. Look, the VA is the largest health care in the country. We do it more in different ways than anybody else. Everybody likes to say that, well, my health care is this. No, VA is largest. And you know what the one thing, though, is that Mike actually addressed? Is that we may be the largest with hospitals and clinics, but, folks, we haven't acted like it. We haven't been the best. When you're the biggest, you go back and you look at what we have the resources, the materials, and everything else to be the absolute best for veterans and their caregivers. And I'll be just blunt with you, we haven't always met the mark. We haven't always been there because we acted too much like interdependent hospitals as if they were startups. We had 170-something hospitals, and I've told all of my leadership, I said, you are not the startup hospital. You're part of the VA, and we're going to start acting like it. And one of the areas that we've had a great time is I've the great leadership from Shelley, from when we served together in the House and now in the Senate, but also my chairman, who is a dear friend of mine that we work together, is we've been able to do some things that I think are really exciting going forward, that has taken the work of the committees in the House and the Senate, but also I don't anymore, as I was in the House for 8 years, I don't have to find 218 votes, I just have to find my pen sometimes. And if I can find my pen, I can do it, and I give y'all credit, but we're going to get it done. And one of the things that we've been working on, and we talk about caregivers, and all of us are caregivers in some way. If you think about that for a moment, everyone really is a caregiver. Some of us just have different ways of doing it. And you say, well, Doug, maybe you don't know my situation. I didn't know it either till 33 years ago, till I was born, till a daughter was born with spina bifida. And this guy who had always been sort of shy around people who had physical disabilities, all of a sudden was the dad to a beautiful little girl named Jordan. I found out for those in a wheelchair that 12 inches might as well be 12 miles because a wheelchair doesn't go over stairs. We walked for years in high school and elementary school, going to the meetings and saying, you know, why do we need this? She needs to go to the bathroom here. We had a caregiver here. And then always would have this. And how many of you caregivers have gotten this? Well, just don't push so hard. They're okay. And they used to tell my daughter, they used to tell my wife, and my wife was a teacher, and they tell me, if you don't push her, she'll be fine. And I looked at them one day in the eye and I said this. I said, here's the difference between you and I. You can love my daughter, you can help my daughter, you can be with her all day. But I said, here's the big deal. When she comes home at night, if Lisa and I die tomorrow, she will only have what I and my wife have given to her, because that's all that we have to do. Caregivers have a big responsibility. So when I looked at that from the VA perspective, I started looking at the things we do. And I see Miss Linda here, who I told somebody just a few minutes ago, Bobby, that if Linda Davis was not at a caregiver event, the caregiver event didn't happen in Washington, D.C. And I just want to thank Miss Linda for that, for what she does for us. One of the things we were saying is we've already started implementing the Dole Act. We're well ahead of schedule on some areas that we're looking at to make sure that that is going well. We've also heard already extended out caregiver protection for over 3 more years. But then we've also begun to look at in our health care, incorporating the caregiver into our medical decisions as well. Back in May, we started best medical interest for our veterans. Now, we only have a specific group. We can only take care of veterans, but that's sort of an anomaly because we take care of the veteran, but we have the families as well. And so for us, we said best medical interest in that community care aspect, sending them people to community care. We were bound by miles and bound by distance and bound by time and appointments and all this other stuff. And so I just said, look, I said, the best way we can look at this right now is let's incorporate what the Access Act and others are going to do here as it gets codified. We already went ahead of them. They gave us a great idea. We're just going to say, hey, we're going to get there. And said best medical interest incorporates caregiver input. So it's not just the veteran who says, I'd like to see my doctor in my hometown. I'm getting older and I can't drive. We're actually taking into account, and it says specifically in what I've told our doctors, is if it's best for the veteran and the caregiver. So these are the kind of things that we're looking at as we move forward. There's a lot more that we can do. And there will be more that we can do as we expand out into the areas of caregiver through the Dole Act and also through many of the things that are affecting our hospitals and our community care, and also for many that will join it in our community living centers, our nursing homes, and others, as we have an aging veteran population, but also a veteran population that came back with injuries that we never knew that you could live through, and now we're dealing with them as they go. So I will just say this. The VA is not perfect, but the VA is moving. For those of you with disability claims, we've cut it 160,000 in backlog disability claims in just 5 months. We said we're going to get to it. We're going to make veterans have better care and get the decisions quicker. We're getting you into community better. But at the end of the day, Mike brought this up a second ago from the committee perspective. As someone who served in Congress for 8 years, he's right on. The great part I get to, and Bobby may be a little jealous because I think I have the best job in the cabinet, because I just get to take care of veterans. I get to take care of those like myself who raised the right hand and said, I'm going to serve, I'm going to leave my home and go serve. And we're going to continue to do that. Caregivers will always be a part, because just like for the military on our side, the military on our side is not just about the member who deploys or the member who serves, it's the family that goes along with it, and the extended family that goes along with it. And even sometimes the neighbor who steps up when there's no family member involved, and that's a caregiver too. As we look at that going ahead, that's just where we need to be. That's what our country owes, not only our citizenry, but our veterans in particular. So we got a lot of ways to go. VA's not still right where it needs to be, but it's going to be, because I work every day to make sure it is, along with our partners in the House and the Senate, to make it happen. Because if we don't work together, then our whole country sort of falls apart. Just like those who are in this room today, who've done stuff this morning that probably others outside this building wouldn't know about. It's okay. Cleaning up, fixing, getting dressed, all those things that caregiver takes from paperwork to appointments is not lost on this administration and not lost where we have. And that's why I'm so glad that this month we've put one thing together first, and that is put the veteran first at VA and put our caregivers right next to them. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
You need your secretary? She needs her secretary.
I mean, I'm a Georgia boy, but you're Southern Illinois. I'm practicing. Y'all take care. See y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. You are speaking to a crowd who's just emotionally thrilled to hear what you have talked about. What I'd like to do now is introduce our great leader of HHS. And if you've heard me talk before to introduce Secretary Kennedy, I often will say, you know, there are a lot of things in common that the Secretary and I have. We're both Irish Catholic. We both grew up with families, siblings, 11 kids in our family, 11 kids in his family. We both had fathers named Robert, and other things we have in common. Like the Secretary can do 100 push-ups and 100 sit-ups in like under 6 minutes. And I get to introduce the man who is leading a nation to better health, Secretary Robert Kennedy. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. And I want to say thank you to Secretary Collins, who was called out on an emergency. But one of the great pleasures that I've had in serving in this cabinet is the collaborations that we've been able to do between the VA and HHS, with many, many more to come. I want to thank you, Senator Capito and Congressman Bowles, for being here today and for your leadership on this issue. Today, we gather to announce a new program to support the millions of Americans who devote their lives to caring for our wounded warriors and other family members and friends who are suffering from disabilities. 63 million Americans provide essential daily care to family members, friends, and neighbors across the nation. and that's nearly 1 in every 4 Americans, with 66% of them being women. These heroes they're sick, they're aging, they're disabled loved ones in living rooms, kitchens, and bedrooms. They don't make headlines and they don't ask for recognition. I'm particularly grateful to the family members and friends and paid professionals who took care of my late mother during the last 2 years of her life when she could no longer take care of herself. My grandmother, who lived to be 104 and had many years when she needed extra help, 24-hour care, and my grandfather, who had a stroke when he was 71 years old and then lived for 7 more years with family members and friends acting as 24-hour caregivers. My life and the life of my family has been touched by those caregivers, as have almost every American. But this informal network of caregivers forms the largest caregiving workforce in the United States, a force bound not by salary or title, but by love and loyalty and duty and compassion. Each day, caregivers take on an incredible range of responsibilities, as I saw in my family, from bathing, feeding, keeping loved ones safe, managing complex medical care at home, getting loved ones up and down the staircases, tube feedings, wound care, respiratory treatments, and others. Caregivers are the foundations of America's healthcare system. Without them, our hospitals, our nursing homes, our clinics would collapse from excess demand. But caregivers struggle. Many caregivers work around the clock, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, taking care of their loved ones with lifelong disabilities, dementia, or chronic illness. Too many lose their income, their job, their aspirations and ambitions for themselves, and even their own health in the process. It's a known fact that caregivers' duties impact both physical and mental health. Only 1 in 4 caregivers reports good physical health, and only 1 in 5 rates themselves highly at eating healthily or exercising. Almost half of caregivers have experienced increased anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues just in this past year. We already face a nationwide shortage of nurses, aides, and healthcare workers. Mercer estimates that by 2028, we'll have a deficit of 100,000 healthcare workers in this country. And direct care workers and support professionals also form the backbone of our support network. These trained men and women help people with disabilities live independently and to participate fully in their communities. They are essential partners. We must do what we can to support caregivers. The Trump administration is pro-family, and there's nothing more pro-family and making sure that your loved ones are taken care of in their time of need. At HHS, we are committed to elevating your voices, strengthening your values, and ensuring that you have the tools and support that you need to meet the growing demand for care. This includes peer support groups, respite care, technology that lightens your load, education and counseling for those under constant stress. And today we take a new step. Through the administration of community living and the leadership of Mary Lazar, HHS is launching the Caregiver AI Challenge, a national competition to spark innovation and to find the next generation of tools that empower caregivers. We're calling on engineers, scientists, innovators, entrepreneurs across the country to harness artificial intelligence to make caregiving smarter, simpler, and more humane. AI can transform caregiving by delivering on-demand support, predicting health risks before they happen, monitoring well-being, and automating paperwork so that caregivers can focus on what matters most, the care and compassion of the people whom they seek to help. This challenge will unfold in 3 phases: design, testing, and scaling. and we will award up to $2 million in prizes to innovations that strengthen care at home for both paid and unpaid caregivers. Our goal is simple: to create tools that are effective, safe, and affordable for every American family that needs them. The Caregiver AI Challenge advances this policy goal. The policy goal is laid out in the Make America Healthy Again strategy report. In the report, the White House directed HHS to use AI to assist in personalized treatment plans, real-time monitoring, and predictive interventions. The report also directed HHS to foster private sector collaboration. Today's announcement will help us achieve both of those goals. AI can change caregiving, but it will never replace compassion. It will never replace the human element. We will champion innovation, but we will never forget that the power of caregiving comes from the human heart, from the hands that lift, the voices that comfort, the love that sustains, and the souls that connect us to the rest of humanity. To America's caregivers, you are not invisible, you are indispensable. HHS stands with you. We honor you. We will keep fighting for you. Together, we will strengthen families, restore dignity, and make sure that every caregiver and every patient receives the respect and support that they deserve. Thank you all very much.
Can we get you in the picture? Yes. Thank you. We're going to get you in a picture right here with them. I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank our phenomenal members of Congress for joining us today. We appreciate so much the support that you give to veterans and caregivers, direct care workers, direct service professionals. And Secretary Kennedy, thank you for giving us the opportunity to continue this work. Thank you for announcing the prize challenge, $2 million for initially 10 awardees. And this will continue on for 3 years. First year, these 10 awardees will be awarded, and then they will move on to the next phase of scaling and developing their program. So in total, perhaps $5 to $6 million in prize awards. So again, many thanks for being here. We appreciate all of your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
As you leave, you'll see the sign behind you that together we're building a better future. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming.
Thanks for all your good hard work.
Thank you.